Hello and welcome to another Watch Report video review. My name is James Stacy and today I'll be your host as we take a look at the new Prometheus Manta Ray 1000 meter diver. Prometheus is a dive watch manufacturer, sport watch manufacturer from Portugal, and this is their newest, kind of most hardcore diver. Pretty serious piece of kit, big chunky case, really cool interchangeable bezel system, and I'm really quite excited to be able to show you a watch from this brand because we've reviewed a few of their watches in the past. So let's take a look. So this is the Prometheus Manta Ray. This model is the 1H. The 1H delineates the white dial, the Arabic numerals, and the blue accents on the hands. It comes in a black or an orange dial models as well. With the Prometheus Manta Ray, you're getting a 44.5mm stainless steel case, 15.8 millimeters tall, 52.5 millimeters long, so it is a fairly long watch. 22 millimeter lugs, which house a fully solid stainless steel bracelet. You get a trick bezel interchanging system, so we can actually swap it for this black bezel, which I'll show you in a couple of minutes. You get a sapphire crystal. It's flat, has an internal anti-reflective coating. The watch is powered by an ETA 28-24-2 automatic movement, so you get your date at 3 o'clock and about a 37-38 hour power reserve. This example is keeping excellent time. 1,000 meter water resistance, or 1001 as quoted on the watch, so that's 3,300 foot, and you do get a helium escape valve if you're a saturation diver. The total weight of the watch with all of the links in the bracelet is an almost astounding 282 grams, which is 0.6 of a pound. So it's a very heavy, very heavy watch. Now I have to remove 5 links from the bracelet to suit my 7.5-inch wrist. So it is a little bit lighter as tested, but even with the bracelet sized, it feels a little bit heavier than an unsized bracelet mounted Halios Laguna. So this is a heavy watch. You're going to like it if you prefer a heavy watch. If you're not so sure, maybe try and find something of a similar weight and get it on your wrist. Along with the 282 gram weight, part of that's going to be this lovely bracelet, which is full hex key construction, solid stainless steel bracelet. You get a fold over push button clasp with a ratcheting extension, which I can show you in more detail in a moment. So the first thing to be of note is the case. It looks to be a fully proprietary case. I haven't seen a case like this on another boutique brand diver. You get a crown at 4 o'clock. The crown itself does not screw into the case, which you'll see here. Just screws in against it. It actually looks like an air filter, which I rather like. The crown is very solid, and if you remove it here, you'll see the threading. It's very wide, very large, and very easy to use, and that makes the crown action very simple. No problem at all. When you have it ready, easily one of the most simple to use crowns I've found on any of these divers. The bezel is also very nice, so not only is it fully interchangeable, but the action's excellent. It's very mechanical. It exhibits almost no play between the points. And it's very positive. It's easy to pick a point and then get to it. It's connected by 6 of these little hex keys. These are 1.5 millimeter screws used all around, and to accurately adjust the bracelet or the lugs, you will need 2 keys, such as you see here. It is a lovely detail, and I think it really makes the bracelet stand out. Only time will tell how much these are able to kind of fill up with crud, and if they have to be cleaned all that regularly, which you wouldn't see with maybe a standard screw set. What we'll do now is we'll just take a nice closer look at the bracelet itself. So along with the very nice quality bracelet that comes on the Manta Ray, you also get this lovely clasp. It's a very simple clasp, not a lot of decoration. You do get this nice engraving for Prometheus. But the clasp itself, the first button here actuates as you can see, a ratcheting extension. This is kind of all the rage on dive watches in general, as you don't have kind of the flimsy twin fold-out clasp that you see on older style. This is actually pretty good. Let's say you want to have a buddy try on the watch, his wrist's a little bit bigger than yours, or your wrist kind of expands due to water retention. You can make sure you always have a nice fit. Otherwise, you get this lovely milled stainless steel. It's a great clasp. Really a lot of quality here. It's very, very solid. The ratchet points exhibit very little play. The last watch I had that had the ratcheting system was the Citizen Air Diver, the PMX 56, and it definitely didn't feel as solid as this clasp does. The mount points are nice thick spring bars, so it should be plenty tough, and really just a lovely design across the entire bracelet. It sits into the watch with these nicely styled solid end links, which are connected. It's like a shaft and cap, so you have the one screw set follows all the way through with a screw that finishes off on the other side. If we get in nice and close, you'll see the finishing on the case. It's actually very nice. And now what we'll do is we're going to charge up the Lume, and we'll see how it glows in the dark. Okay, so here we have the Manta Ray. I've hit it a few times at full power from my flash, and we'll shut off the last light here. What you'll see is it is actually fairly bright to begin. The points aren't especially large, the hands are fairly thin. The big problem with the Lume on the Manta Ray is that the longevity is very poor. After a couple of hours it's almost useless except in complete darkness. And in my opinion, we've come across so many of these indie divers that have done the Lume correctly in that it's very bright and lasts for an excellent amount of time. They're all using the same compound, so you have to come down to an assumption that it may be the amount of the luminous material that they're using. But ultimately this could be a lot better, and I think this is really the only weak point on an otherwise excellent watch that will affect almost every user. If you're not going to care too much about the Lume, then that's fine, but you should know that it's not especially bright, and it doesn't last very long at all. It's not going to compare to what you'd see from a Seiko diver or even many of the other indie brands. So we're going to get the lights back on, and I'm going to show you how to change the bezel system. Okay, so here we have a macro shot of the bezel itself. As you can see, we have a 1.5mm hex screw that fits in. There's a very, very important note to make here, as I ruined one of these screws not realizing. These screws in the bezel are counter-threaded, meaning if you want to tighten them, you turn them left, and if you want to back them out, turn them right. And that's about all it takes, and you'll see the screws now extended. We'll do this to each one. Through the magic of video, you don't have to watch in real time. So here you'll see I've removed the stainless bezel. This is what you're left with. It looks a lot like any other dive watch that has had its bezel removed. This is the spring that actually causes the clicking. It's a circular spring with these little tabs that keeps the bezel from only going one way. Here we have this one. So this is the black one. It kind of has like a UTS style ratcheting, or ratchet style interior. And on this, again, counter threaded. So you'll need to back this off a little bit, really just until they protrude. And here we have the black bezel mostly fitted on. See, there's a couple left, and be sure when you're tightening it, it's the reverse of what your brain wants to do. It's left. And we have one more left here to do. And there you go. So now you have the new bezel created, or fitted. Doesn't have to be, make sure not to keep them too tight. You have that great action back, and it has a kind of a new watch look to it, kind of a nice darker style. I think it goes well with the white dial. So for Watch Report, this has been our review of the Prometheus Manta Ray. This sells for 555 euros, which right now I believe is about the $720 range. At that price point, we haven't seen a lot of watches like this. It's very heavy, very chunky, extra toolish. Definitely, I would say, could be used for diving. A lot of nice features, nice build quality with the hex keys, the ratcheting extension, and kind of a trick bezel change. With the possible exception of the Lume, which isn't very good at all. The weight of the watch, or the height, which may bother those with smaller wrists or people who just don't prefer a heavier watch. Other than that, excellent timepiece, nicely made, and keeps nice time. We'd like to thank Prometheus for sending us a loaner of the new Manta Ray 1H. Thanks for watching.